My name is McKay Allen. I am the inbound marketing manager at Log My Calls, and we're excited you're here today. And we're really excited that Greg's agreed to join us. He's obviously an expert specifically in AdWords, but in all things marketing, and we're excited he's here. I first want to make a couple of announcements, and then I'm going to turn the screen and the time over to Greg. First thing I want to do is give you our webinar offer. We extend these offers for every webinar we do. It's a free 30-day trial of Log My Calls. Check it out free for 30 days. It'll give you your basic subscription for free. Just make sure you use this coupon code when you leave your the sign-up process, and it'll give you those 30 days. Second bit of announcement. In terms of questions today after Greg's webinar, make sure you ask questions. We like questions. Greg likes questions. Type those into your questions bar, and then at the end of the webinar, I'll read some of those to Greg, and he can address as many as he can get to. So with that, I want to turn the time over to Greg and tell him thanks for coming today, and we're excited for the presentation. I'm going to make him give him control of the screen here. So Greg, I think you have control. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
All right. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir. You're good.
All right. Let's do it. All right, guys. Welcome. My name is Greg Cesar, and today I promise to deliver you guys some creative, out-of-the-box strategies that's going to help you drive more sales, customers, and money to anything that you're doing, even if everything you've tried in the past has failed. It's all about being creative and doing things out of the box. A lot of content to share with you, so I'm going to move very quick, so have your pens ready and be ready to take some action. So today's agenda, I'll tell you a little bit about who I am, how I got started, problem with marketing today. We're going to talk about mindset marketing, brand leverage, sales cycle marketing, piggyback technique, and sales automation, which are all really fun and creative things you can start doing today. And then at the end, I'll give you my contact information. So who am I? I started offline in 1997, had a corporate job. Had graduated college, was working for 2 Fortune 100 companies, each for about 2.5 years. And just one day I decided, I told my boss, I'm going to go on my own and start a business on this thing that we call the internet. That's how we talked about it back then. And I started off consulting local businesses about how to market on the internet. Then I started online, that is selling products on the internet, around 2001, 2002 timeframe. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason I started selling products online was because I wanted a vehicle or a way to get more offline clients. I wanted to go to the local business and say, hey, don't hire that other guy to work with you. They're not selling anything on the internet. I am, so I understand what you're going through. I understand what your pains are. And when you need more traffic, I know how to do that because that's how I'm doing it with my own business. And it just so happened that I started to sell so many products all over the globe. So since that time frame, I've sold over 100,000 products in over 100 different countries. Those are actual units moved. And folks, that doesn't include sales that has come in through working with affiliates. These are all my own sale through that done by myself. If I include affiliate sales, I'm probably about 150,000 products that we've moved and sold since then. Sought out by some of the best internet marketers on the planet. A lot of the top guys, when they need help with a product launch or something, you know, they'll call me and I will come help them. International guest speaker. I've spoken all over the globe, from Singapore, Malaysia, UK, Jamaica, and all over the United States. So definitely know a little bit about marketing, as that's what I do. So let's talk about the biggest problem with marketing today, and it's what I call herd marketing. And that is, everyone is following the herd. And what they don't realize is the herd is walking right off of a cliff into oblivion. And so when you look at a lot of the strategies that come out today, and there's, you know, one that people are talking about today is how you create these nice little opt-in pages. And I'm telling you, I look at it and I say, how on earth could this possibly convert any better? So everyone says, this is what you got to do. Do what these guys are saying. I'm finding the opposite is true. What everyone is doing, do the opposite, and you tend to get a little bit more results. So with that being said, what you have to do is create your UMP. Now, many of you guys, you're familiar with USP, which stands for Unique Selling Proposition. Basically, that means what makes you different from this person to the next person. That's your USP. Well, here's something you need to incorporate, which is UMP, unique marketing proposition. In other words, how are you marketing differently than your competitors are? Because here's the reality, folks. If you're doing the same thing at the same time at the same place as everyone else, you're going to get the same results. You need to be different, and very few people think about how do I market myself differently. Well, today I'm going to give you some really good ideas and help you start thinking differently there. So let's start with number one, mindset marketing. Okay, so the question is, what is mindset marketing? Basically, you're selling and marketing your products based on what's going on inside the prospect's mind versus selling based on the product. Most people, when they think about marketing, the first thing or the center of the marketing is the product. For me, that's kind of an outside thing. The number one thing I look at when thinking about what I'm going to market or sell is what's going on inside of their mind. That's the center of my universe, and then I base all my marketing around that. And I'll give you guys some examples. So when you think about mindset marketing, there's a group of questions or a set of questions that you want to ask yourself. They are who, what, where, why, when. Now, who would have thought, you know, we're grown adults, the things that we heard when we were in high school and elementary school is going to come back and we can actually use it. Yes, you can. Who, what, where, why, when. Who are they? Who are the people that you're going to sell to? What? What is it they're looking for, right? What else are they looking for? Where? Where are they currently getting these solutions now? Okay, where are they going to get the solutions that you want to offer them? Why? And I think why is probably the most important question that you have to ask. Why do they want this product? Because when you answer the question why, there are opportunities in marketing that will appear to you that did not appear before. And we'll do a Google search right quick, and you'll understand better what I mean by that. And then the next one is when. Very few people ask themselves that question from a marketing standpoint. When does the consumer need this solution? Is it now or is it later? Because the answer to this question determines what your sales process or sales funnel is going to look like. If the customer needs it now, then you have a really short sales cycle or sales funnel. If they need it later, your sales funnel is going to be much longer. It's going to be based more on the relationship. So let me give you an example. Someone who goes into Google and they type in, let's think of something, model number 567. What is that person telling you when they search for a specific model number? They know what they're looking for and they need it and they want it now. Someone who goes into Google and they type in mattress. I have no idea what, are you looking for a Tempur-Pedic? Are you looking for a queen size? Are you looking for a twin? Have no idea. Also means you have no idea what you're looking for, so you don't necessarily need it now. You need it down the road. So I need to build a relationship with you and extend the sales cycle. So what you want to do is stop thinking product and start thinking why. Always answer the question, why do they want this product? So let's do a quick Google search. Let's go to Google here. I'm going to give you an example. You guys are probably familiar with an ergonomic chair, right? Now, let me ask you guys a question. Why does someone need an ergonomic chair? Right? I mean, look at these things. This is not, you know, some beautiful chair that you're going to put in your living room. I mean, do you want to put this in your living room and tell your friends, hey, come over and take a look at this beautiful chair I got sitting in my living room? No, this is not for aesthetics. There's a reason why you're going to need an ergonomic chair. And the number one reason is back pain. I mean, why else would you need an ergonomic chair? So we now understand the why. You're buying this because you got back pain. So let's look at how the people who are paying for advertising, how are they doing this with Google? Look at this first one, body-built ergonomic chair. That's their headline, body-built ergonomic chair. High-quality custom-built office chairs. Is this why you're looking for this product? How about 20 to 60% off? Is that why you're looking for this product? Let's look at another one. Most popular ergonomic chairs. Again, that's not why I'm looking for this chair. Let's see if anyone does a good job here. Low prices, huge selections, who cares? Big sale, free leather arm. Now there's the reason why I'm going to buy this product. Free leather arm. Who cares about my back pain? Here's one, ergonomic chair at Sears. Again, not the reason why I'm going to buy this product. So if this were my product, my ad would say, get rid of your back pain with this chair. Now, think about everyone who's on this page. They're all paying Google for this advertising, or the ones in the sponsored section are. So they don't understand why the consumer is looking for the product. So what's happening is everyone is the same. They're all in the same herd. Now, here I come with a different ad that says, hey, get rid of your back pain with this chair. I stick out like a sore thumb. The average click-through rate on an ad in Google says 1% is considered extremely good. I've had ads that I've run on Google that have gotten as much as 27% click-through rate. I had one of the MSN representatives tell me one time, you're at a 15% click-through rate. How are you doing that? And that's because I thought about what was going on in the minds of the prospect. I didn't sell the product, I sold the why. The why is you've got back pain, so I get more clicks. So in terms of marketing, think mindset marketing. You're going to get a whole lot more clicks, a whole lot more traffic to your website. So let's talk about brand leverage. Okay, first of all, let's get an understanding of what branding is. Branding is getting a customer to remember your product or service. That's all branding is, folks, right? Thus, when they need a solution to the problem that they have, notice I said solution to the problem that they have, your products are top of mind. So all you're trying to do when you do branding is getting a consumer to remember who you are when the solution or when the problem arises. So a couple quick examples. When you go to a restaurant, you say, hey, let me get a Coke. And it doesn't matter what kind of soda you're looking for. You normally associate Coke with soda. How about oil change, right? Don't you say, you know, I'm going to go to the Jiffy Lube. It doesn't matter if it's a quick lube, Jiffy Lube. Most people say Jiffy Lube, and they associate that with oil change. Same thing when you've got a headache. Don't you say, let me get a Tylenol or an Advil. Doesn't matter if you're going to get aspirin or Midol. You always think Tylenol or Advil because we associate that with pain. Well, the companies that do this and build brands very well and they build loyal followings, you can take advantage of that to build your business both on and offline. So with brand leverage, what you want to do is you want to take the Burger King approach. Okay, so let me explain to you what the Burger King approach is. When Burger King started coming out with their stores and locations, their marketing plan was very simple. Wherever you find a McDonald's, let's open up shop across the street. I mean, that's what their marketing model was, because what they realized is McDonald's spent a lot of time, energy, and money to find the best locations. So Burger King says, why do we need to do that? Let's follow wherever they are. Then Wendy's came out and said, wherever you find a Burger King and a McDonald's, we want to be across the street as well. And that's why you typically find a lot of them around the same blocks or same radiuses. When you do find one, you find the other. So wherever you find a McDonald's, there is a Burger King across the street. So brand leverage is this. It's positioning your product next to another successful brand. So you find someone who's doing it right and you position yourself right next door. I'll give you an example. When I used to go to trade shows, what I would do is I would get the list of vendors, and then I would find, okay, let me identify, you know, a couple vendors that I think are doing it very well, and then I would tell the trade show company, I want you to position me next to such and such business. Now, why is that? Because they're going to attract the crowd, and I'm going to be next door picking up all that extra sales that's coming from them. So it's very easy to do this strategy offline, right? Now, the question is, how do we do this online? Right? I'm sure all of you guys aren't going to say, well, I'm going to open up a store next to my competitor. Well, how do we do this online and take advantage of this same strategy? So let's talk about that. The first thing is you need to control the conversation, folks. So that says social media. Okay? when you look at what social media is, it's nothing more than conversation. You want to do advertising on Facebook, but what you're going to target is going to be your competitors' groups, their fan pages, and their business names. So when you create your campaign in Facebook, Facebook says, what is your targeting? What you want to do is do a search for your competitors' names in Facebook and find their fan page, their groups, and their business name. That's going to be your target. Now here's what's going to happen. When you do this, anyone who likes their fan page or their group or any of their friends, when you put your ad up on Facebook, they will see your ad. So let me repeat this. You're a car dealer. You're a Nissan car dealer. You go out and find the Ford car dealer has a fan page. You tell Facebook, anyone who is a friend or likes the Ford car dealer's fan page, I want you to show them my ad. So they've done a great job building their fan page. They've got 10,000 friends. Here comes your ad, and your ad is being seen by every single one of those 10,000 people. They've done all the hard work. You just came in and was able to capitalize on that work. So let's move on to the next one, which is what I call sales cycle marketing. Now, in the sales cycle is the road the customer travels to get from point A when they have a problem to point Z when they find a solution. Okay? Every customer goes through this road. So you've got an issue, and you've identified what that issue is, and then you start to look for solutions. And when you get to point Z, that's when you actually buy that solution. Well, here's the thing, folks. That's a long, long road in some cases. Some cases, it's quick, but in most cases, it takes a while. Like, for example, if you are going to buy a house, you don't decide on Monday, I want to buy a house, and on Thursday, you bought the house. Right? That process typically takes a while for it to happen. So let's give you an example of something looking at the real estate market. I'll give you a quick example. I've got a bunch of really cool examples for you. What is something that if you are looking to buy a house, what is one of the major questions that you are going to look for? And let's assume that you're a parent. What is one of the first things that you're going to look for if you are looking to buy a house or move to a certain area? Number one question you're going to ask yourself is schools. What are the schools like, right? Do you want to go into a school district where they're having problems? Like in the Atlanta market, there's a school district that 2 years ago lost their accreditation. Do you want to move into a school district where the school has lost their accreditation? What happens then? Not only does your child get a terrible education, but the value of your home is going to decrease almost instantly. You don't want to do that. So let's go to Google and take a look at something. Let's look up at a school here. I want to show you something. We're going to search Harmony Leland Elementary, which is a school in the Atlanta market. Oops, spelled that wrong. Okay, so when we look at this, how many websites does Google say have the words Harmony Leland Elementary? It says 33,000. I think it's less than that, but let's put in Mableton, GA. Look at this, folks, 2 results. That means out of the whole internet, there are only 2 results that have the words Harmony Leland Elementary, Mableton, Georgia. That means I could, by default, I'm in the 3rd position. No matter what I do, all I have to do is put these words on my web page, and I'm in the 3rd spot. Now, if you are a real estate agent, think about the person who's looking for Harmony Leland Elementary in Mableton. They're looking to move to that area, want to find out about the school. Now, let's look at Mableton, GA Elementary Schools. Now, as you can see, there's about 7,000 websites that come up with this search phrase, but let me tell you from a ranking standpoint, I could rank very easily for this keyword. If it was 100,000, I'd be a little bit nervous about that. But this is something that I could rank very, very easily for, and when you look at the competing websites, look, it's YP, it's yellowpages.com. These aren't even real websites. These are just, directories, which means I can outrank them fairly easily. So when I think about the sales cycle, that's an example of a search that the marketer is doing within the sales cycle that I can go out and rank for very, very easily for. So as a marketer, you have to identify everything that happens in between the 2 points, between point A and point Z. That's where the gold is. As you can see, how hard would it be for you to create a blog that talks about the schools in the area where you want to sell real estate? It's very easy to do that, right? So that's where the gold is. So you want to make sure you make a list of those different things. So there's the beginning of the sales cycle, right? Now, here's the challenge with the beginning of the sales cycle. The customer does not know what they want. Now, to give you an example of that, someone who's at the beginning of the sales cycle is going to go into Google. They're going to type in digital camera. They're going to type in sneakers. They're going to type in real estate. Well, let me ask you, what type of sneaker are you looking for? What type of real estate are you looking for? What type of digital camera are you looking for? So the problem with the beginning of the sales cycle is the customer really doesn't know what they are looking for. Now let's look at the end of the sales cycle where they become buyers. Now these keywords are great because they go in and the customer zeroes in on a solution. The customer has educated themselves and they say, you know what, I'm not just looking for a digital camera, I'm looking for a Nikon D80. I'm not just looking for sneakers, I'm looking for Nike Air sneakers. I'm not just looking for real estate, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom condo, right? So at the end of the sales cycle, the customer zeroes in on what they're looking for, which means the search is more specific, which means the customer is closer to the sale. So as you get in front of that customer, you're way more likely to make a sale than when you get in front of the customer when they type in digital camera. Now, the problem with the end of the sales cycle is that's where the sharks are. That's where the blood in the water is. Every single one of your competitors are there, and it is expensive when you market at the end of the sales cycle. Now, for most people, this is what the end of the sales cycle would look like for them. So let's go to Google right quick and show you digital camera. We have 160 million competitors for the keyword digital camera. How would you like to compete against that? Well, now let's look at Nikon D80, which is a type of digital camera. We're down to 50 million. That's 33% less competition, but folks, we still have a problem. There's 50 million people that we need to compete with for the first 10 spots that are on Google. So that's still a lot of work. So what does that mean? This is a false end of sales cycle. This is where most marketers and most business people think they need to be. Let me show you what I consider to be the true end of the sales cycle where you want to be. How about Nikon D80 Atlanta, right? How about Nikon D80 Best Buy? Let's see what that looks like now. So if I am in the Atlanta market, I'm looking for a Nikon D80, I'm going to type in Nikon D80 Atlanta because, hey, I might want to go pick one up at the store. Now, folks, look at what my universe looks like now. We went from 50 million competition down to 403. Do you realize how easy I can rank for this keyword, right? I could rank for this keyword extremely easy. If I go even to a smaller city, let's do Smyrna. We've got 6. How about this one? How about the person who types in buy Nikon D80 Atlanta? Let's show you what happens from a competitive standpoint now. Okay, so if we type in buy Nikon D80 Atlanta, look what Google tells us. No results found. Not a single person is using this as a keyword. So what does that mean for me as a business owner who's selling the Nikon D80? I use the sales cycle marketing to be the only game in town. By default, I would be ranked #1 in Google. All I have to do is put this keyword somewhere on my webpage and a couple other, search engine optimization strategies, but that totally changes the game for me. Okay, so that's what we call sales cycle marketing. So let's give you some examples. Atlanta real estate, true, Vinings Estates, homes for sale. Let's take a look at that in Google. Atlanta real estate. 4 million results. Let's look at Vinings Estates, homes for sale. And by the way, Vinings is a community in the Atlanta market. Look at that, 11,000. We go from 4 million to 11,000. Now, from a sales cycle standpoint, why is this a very good keyword? This customer is saying, I want to move into Vinings Estates and I want to see homes for sale versus Atlanta real estate. Yes, that's an end of sales cycle search, but this is a way better sales cycle search. Try to be as specific as you can when you look at your keywords. Here's another one, the registry, which is again another community in the Atlanta market, and this would have very little competition as well. So the biggest opportunities are in the middle of the sales cycle. So we talked about the beginning, we talked about the end. Let's talk about the middle. The middle of the sales cycle shows the customer is serious about a purchase, but it's before the sharks get in the water. Why is the middle important? Let me explain. At the beginning of the sales cycle, you may have 1 million people searching. 1 million people searching for a Nikon D80. At the end of the sales cycle, we may have only 10,000 people searching for, at the beginning of the sales cycle, we may have 1 million people searching for digital camera. At the end of the sales cycle, we may have 10,000 people searching for Nikon D80. So you've got the sharks in the water, yet there's less search volume. In the middle of the sales cycle, there may be 500,000 people searching for other keywords, like, for example, shutter speed. They may be searching for things. Think about someone who goes into Google and they're searching for megapixel. That person is saying, hey, I've done some research. Someone told me that I need to get a 14 megapixel camera. Let me go out and find what 14 megapixel cameras exist. Now, the beauty about that is from an advertising standpoint, you're going to have a whole lot less competition. Right? 2 million for 14 megapixel, yet there was 160 million for digital camera. So start to look at the things that show a person is becoming educated on the product. Megapixel, shutter speed, battery life, right? Once they start searching for, think about someone who types in Nikon D80 battery life. What does that tell me? They're about to purchase this product, but they're doing a little bit of research. So they're in the middle of the sales cycle. Now look at from the right-hand side of the page, folks. How many advertisers do you see? We've got 2 at the bottom. Let's see if we have any more here. Nope, we've got 3 total advertisers, which means this is wide open. Now watch this. Nikon D80, we're probably swarming with advertisers. First page of ads. Got one down here. So a little bit more, these are ads as well, so a little bit more competitive. But if we think about the middle of the sales cycle, it's easy to get that traffic. Now let's give you an example of something that I did, which is the middle of the road or middle of the sales cycle process. I had a customer or a friend of mine who wanted to sell a weight loss product. Now in Google, I don't have to explain how competitive the keyword weight loss is. I'm sure you guys know that. Watch this. Weight loss, it's probably going to cost, to get a sponsored ad on this keyword, I would say $30 to $40 per click. Each one of these guys are bidding for that traffic. Do you want to go out and compete on a basis of $30 to $40 per click? That's a very difficult thing to do. Look at how many people are advertising there. So what we did was, I said, okay, let's think about mindset. Let's think about what the consumers are looking for. Let's think about what else the consumers are spending money on that shows me they are serious. So what we realized was Weight Watcher is something that people look for. So once we do that, let's see if we can find something here. Google. Let's show you how much traffic. Google keyword tool. Let's see if we can get to the Google keyword tool. Let's type in weight loss, and let's type in Weight Watchers. CHAMELAER. I have no idea what that says, but we'll try it anyway. I knew I got it wrong. NSTHS. Now, look at this. 8 million people search for weight loss. 7 million search for Weight Watchers. Now, let's look at competition. Medium competition, low competition. Do I want to fight everyone for the keyword weight loss when I can go after the keyword Weight Watchers? Heck no, I'm going after Weight Watchers. So what we decided to do is we created a website that was called Weight Watcher Locations. Let's show you that. Look at that, 12,000 people searching for Weight Watcher locations. Let's even put a city there. Weight Watchers Orlando. I mean, 170 people search for Weight Watchers Orlando. Let's see if we take the S off of the end. Does that change the number? Nope, they're not searching it that way. So hopefully you guys are seeing the bigger picture here. So we created a website, which was Weight Watcher Location. We ran advertisements in Google, and the advertisement said, hey, looking for a Weight Watcher location? Click here. Once they got to the page, what did we tell them? We did not disparage the brand. We said, obviously, you're looking to lose weight, and you understand the importance of Weight Watchers. Otherwise, you wouldn't have searched for it. So here's what we'd like to do. Let us send you the list of Weight Watcher locations in your area. Just enter your name and email address, and we will send that to you. Once they enter their name and email address, their name was sent to our database. We then had a web page that was built where we took them right back to the website where they would get the list of Weight Watcher locations. But what did we have by that point? We got the name and email address of someone we've identified is about to spend money and they're looking to lose weight. That's all we needed. So that is a very simple process of how you can think out of the box and look at the middle of the sales cycle. So we talked about shutter speed, megapixels. Another example in the real estate market is this. Had someone that I was helping, and I said, think about what someone who wants to sell their home is going to do at the beginning to the middle of the sales cycle. One of the first things they're going to do is paint. So if you're going to paint, if you know everyone who's going to sell their house is going to paint the house first, the easiest way to get to the customer before the sharks do is to become friends with every painter in the town. What's going to happen now is you can have the painters handing out your business cards so you get the customer months before the sharks get in the water and can take that customer from you. Very simple strategies that you can do. So let's talk about piggyback marketing. Now, I love this. Piggyback marketing basically is every single person you want to sell to is already doing business with someone else. Let me repeat this, folks, and if you can understand this simple principle here, you can sell a lot of products. Every single person you want to sell to is already doing business with someone else. Now, the question is who? Remember, who, what, where, why, when. Who are they doing business with, and how can I create a strategic relationship with those people? So what you want to do is your job is to understand everything about your customers. You want to understand what companies they're doing business with, what services they are buying, what products they are spending money on, what magazines they read, what websites they are searching, what websites they are on. Because once you understand this, folks, you start to get really good and dialed in with the piggyback technique. So let's talk about how you're going to do this. One of the best strategies for the piggyback technique is look for people who are already paying for ads. So let's go back to Google. And let's go to here and do that. Let's look at ergonomic chair. All right, let's say I find that Body Built is advertising on Google. We click on their webpage. Now, I've got a tool here. Let's pause that. I've got a tool here called the Compete Toolbar. When I click on this, it gives me an idea of how much traffic these guys are getting, although we don't have any data for them. So let's see if we find someone else here. Let's look at Sit Correct. Let's see if we get their data. It tells me they're doing about 5,000 uniques a month, but I want to show you guys the chart. Okay, we can't see the chart here as well. But here's an example of what the chart would look like, right? So what we're looking for, ooh, these guys actually, yeah, they're doing about 5,000. So we look at the chart. What I like to see is, okay, they're paying for advertising, and they're doing a couple thousand uniques a month. That's a good opportunity for me to piggyback off of those guys. So when I'm looking for the piggyback technique, I'm looking for people who are paying ads. Then what I do is I pay them to put my offer on their thank you page. Now let me ask you guys a question. Who is landing on their thank you page? Right? Think about that for a second. Who is landing on their thank you page? You guys know what the answer is? The buyers. The people who either opted into their mailing list, the people who bought their products. Now, what do most thank you pages look like? They say, hey, thank you for buying my product. We appreciate it. You're going to get an email. Have a nice day. What if that thank you page says, hey, thank you for buying my product, and by the way, if you've got back problems, here's a couple other products that you may be interested in. Now, folks, think about that for a second. Thank you for buying my product. Since you've got this problem, here's a couple other things you may be interested in. So here is your product on the thank you page of someone who's paying for advertising. So where do you want to find some of these people? Look at people who are advertising in magazines, newspapers, Google AdWords, Facebook. You know what happens if someone's running a full-page ad in the newspaper, full-page ad in the magazine? People come to their webpage, right? Magazines exist because of advertisers. Advertisers exist because of consumers, okay? So that means they're making money. And you are on that advertiser's thank you page. That's like advertising in the magazine for free. They paid for the ad, and you got the customer on the back end. So what ends up happening is the magazine paid for every single click. Or the advertiser paid for every single click, the good clicks, the bad clicks, the searchers, the buyers, the non-buyers. But you only were seen by the people who took out their credit cards and bought. What a beautiful way to make sales. Folks, I'm going to tell you, I've gotten more sales using this strategy than you can imagine. So, again, what you're doing is you're contacting people who are spending money advertising, and you are positioning yourself to be on their thank you page. It's a win-win for you. It's a win-win for them. They're getting additional sales so you can help offset some of their advertising expense. You're getting the traffic for free, and you're just giving them a percentage of the sale, or maybe you're paying them X amount of dollars per month to be there. It's a win-win for everyone. I really love this strategy. So let's talk about automation marketing. Basically, automation marketing is when your sales process is automated. When that happens, the only thing left for you to do is to fill your pipeline, right? Your sales process is happening automatically. I've got a product that we're selling. I was recently on a cruise, and I came back. We had over 12 to 15 sales for a product that I was on a cruise, no internet access, no phone, no email, no computer, no nothing. How is that? Because we've got our processes are automated, so I don't need to be there for that to happen. So what you want to do is use webinars to deliver your sales message. Okay? Webinars is one of the easiest ways to deliver your sales message because it can be a consistent message every single time. Now, most webinars can hold up to 1,000 people, depending. Some of them can be a little bit less. If you have an automated webinar. Basically, an automated webinar is one that can play every day at 3 p.m. whether you're on or not. They can be unlimited. One person can watch it. 10,000 people can watch it at 3 p.m. That is unlimited. So webinars are better because of higher sales conversion rate. See, typical sales process, it takes 6 to 7 pieces of communication for a person to finally, the average person to finally make a decision. And that's because that's how long it takes to build that relationship. When you do it through a webinar, you get instant credibility, and because of that, the sales cycle is much shorter and faster. Thus, webinars are better because much higher conversion rate than traditional sales models. So what we're doing now is we're flipping the sales model upside down. Instead of saying, here's my sales page, buy my product, what you're doing with the webinar is you're saying, here's my website, register for my free webinar. Now you are building a list of people that you can market to over and over and over. It's a totally different way of marketing your product. So you're building a list of people that you can market to over and over. Now, what you want to do is make a list of the most common issues that people in your marketplace face. Make a list of the most common questions that people in your marketplace have. Okay? Their issues and their questions. Got to make that list. Then what you're going to do is you're going to create short webinars answering those questions and addressing those issues. You don't want to do them all in one webinar because remember, multiple touches. So you want to have 4, 5, 6 different webinars that they can watch because they can say, I saw you on Monday, I saw you on Tuesday, I saw you on Wednesday, I saw you on Thursday. Now you can do it all on Monday, but you don't get the multiple touches. Short webinars with the answers to those specific questions. And so what that does is, allow your prospects to register for the webinar on your website, present your information, give them an opportunity to go to the next step at the end of the webinar. Notice I didn't say that sell them something. Give them the opportunity to go to the next steps with you at the end of the webinar. Now, what that allows you to do is you only spend your time talking to people that have gone through the sales process and have demonstrated they're ready to get started. Traditional sales marketing is you run an ad, people come to your website, you talk to everyone. Well, what if you run the ad, they come to the website, they register, they watch the webinar, now you only talk to the people who say, I'm ready to get started now. Totally changes how you market and makes you way more efficient. So let me give you an example in the real estate niche. How about if you have a webinar which is questions before hiring an agent, staging your home, increasing the value of your home, working with a mortgage broker, closing attorneys, negotiating with buyers, picking the right home, best neighborhoods in Smyrna, everything you need to know about Vinings Estates. Okay? You see how as a real estate agent, you can create 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different webinars that people can go to. What do you think happens when they come to your webinar and you are the one that's answering their questions? You are the one that's addressing their needs. They feel you are the person that I should work with. So now, once you get this dialed in, okay, once you've got the process down and it's working for you, the very next step is to set your webinars to run on an automatic fashion without you having to be there. So there's software that you can install on your servers that will run your webinars. So for example, your mortgage webinar runs every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Your real estate closing webinar runs every Tuesday at 5 p.m. You don't even have to be there. You've already pre-recorded it and it runs. So when you market yourself, you're telling people, go to my website, register for one of my webinars. Do you think that changes your sales message when you can go to a prospect and say, not go to my webinar and hire me to be your agent, but go to my webinar and find out everything you need to know before you hire a real estate agent. Go to my webinar and find out how to hire a closing attorney. Which one do you think you're going to get more responses? Go to my website and hire me, or go to my website and find out how the real estate process works so you don't get screwed over or messed up or make the wrong decision, right? Totally changes the message. This is a way more powerful way to do that. Now, all you have to do is just go to Google and do a search for webinar replay software. Just search for, or search automated webinar replay software. I will tell you, automating your webinars will change your life. So if you need, any help from me or any more advice with anything that we've talked about today, or want to take advantage of a complimentary 20-minute web strategy evaluation, my name is Greg Cesar. This is my phone number here, 203-848-6330. My email is greg@advantagesolution.com. And our new website is gregcesar.com. We're going to be having that up shortly. And make sure you mention Log My Calls if you want to take advantage of the 20-minute strategy, web strategy consultation that we would give you. Just make sure you call and let us know that. Now, McKay, hopefully I've been able to provide some good value for everyone and some strategies that you guys can go out and implement and take advantage right now. I have some time for questions if you want to see if anyone has any questions.
That's awesome. Greg, thanks for that. It was very good. We were, I think everybody was very interested in some of the tactics you shared. I liked how specific you were, so that's great. Here's a couple questions actually right off the bat. First question, you mentioned, and I forget exactly which bullet point it was under, but you mentioned actually creating almost directories for certain services and then listing your business, first for that directory. Is that the best way to look at it, as almost like a directory with a specific URL that would be optimized by Google, or what's the best way to go about setting one of those up, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Well, I would tell you the best thing to do is, let's say you've got your main domain name, right, which is where you do business. Let's say you're ABC Contractors. Mm-hmm. What you should do is get a subdomain on your domain, so abccontractors.com/directory. So now when people come to that site, they're landing on your website, okay? Now, there's a couple tools that you can use that will make it really easy for you, and one of them is called Directory Press. So if you go to directorypress.com, I believe it's $79 for this WordPress plugin. And all you have to do is upload a database of people in your marketplace. So for example, I will give you a website where you can go to and buy databases really cheap. It's called Oddity Software, ODDITY software.com. They typically sell their databases. It's like $80 or $100. They're really inexpensive. So you say, I'm looking for doctors, chiropractors, dentists, golf, whatever it is, you'll find a directory of businesses in there for that. So you build your directory, you install your names, which probably a couple hours worth of work, and boom, you've got your directory going. And now Google starts indexing those pages. They start to be found, people search, they land on your web page.
So you wouldn't necessarily say that if I'm in the tire industry, for example, I shouldn't necessarily have tiredirectory.com, but maybe I should have my url.com/directory. Is that accurate?
You could actually do both. Depends on how much work you want to do.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Very good. And then the other question is, and here's a question actually that is a good one. Yeah, somebody says, hey, I couldn't write everything down. When will this be available? It'll be available on the Log My Calls SlideShare account, and then the recording will be available on logmycalls.com, right on the home page there. And Greg may make it available as well. So, but yeah, it will be available too. You'll be able to see it. The other question here that I think is worth noting is, explain, if you can, just go over, you talked a little bit about how the Facebook ads are targeted. We've got a question here about how those Facebook ads for your competitors' traffic are targeted. Can you buy Facebook ads specifically targeted for people who like your competitors, or how does that whole Facebook ad process work, this person asks?
Yep. So typically with Facebook, see, in Google, the ads are targeted based on a keyword. The person types in a keyword, and we know that person just typed in, Atlanta chiropractor. So we know exactly what they're looking for. In Facebook, the challenge is people aren't typing anything. So the way that we target them is either A, by demographics. We're looking for women who are 54 years and older, or men who are 25 years and older, or we target their likes. We target the things that they're interested in. So the way that most people target interest is, so for example, someone may target golf as an interest. Well, what if I'm a golfer? And let me give you a better example. Let's look at the weight loss niche. We know that about 70% of the people in the U.S. are overweight. So that means 70% of the people on Facebook are overweight. But if I ran a campaign for weight loss, I would probably only reach about 1 million people on Facebook, because how many people put in their profile, I'm overweight? So unless they tell me I'm overweight, I can't reach them. So what do I want to do in Facebook? I want to target the people who like Weight Watchers.
I see.
Right? So if I find Weight Watchers, and again, Weight Watchers is a big brand. So Weight Watchers may have 5 million people who like their page. So if those are Facebook friends with Weight Watchers, when I run my ad for weight loss, boom, those 5 million would see my ad every time they log into Facebook.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
And then the other question that we have here is related to just general traffic strategy. Have you developed through the years a metric, and probably depends on the industry widely, I know it does, but a metric of how many visitors results in a customer? Have you come up with a good metric for that in various industries, Greg?
Yeah, typically what you want to do when you go out to do any kind of marketing campaign, you have to do your math on 1%. Okay. So if you are buying the traffic and you're paying $1 per click, so 100 visitors is going to cost you $100. Now you got to calculate 1% of them are going to buy my product. Now if that 1% equals one sale and your product is a $25 product, you've got a problem. That means you just spent $100 and you made $25. If your product is a $500 item, in that case, high-ticket item is going to go down a little bit, so maybe 0.5%, which is still good. So you'd spend $100 and you'd make $500, so you're $400 in profit. Always base your math off of 1%. Now, for me, because once we get them on our mailing list, we have follow-up sequences, I'm typically finding by the time we're done, anywhere from 3 to 5%. If we take them to the webinar, I've had webinars with 40% conversion rate.
That's great. Greg, let me ask you one more question. If you, with those directory sites you mentioned a moment ago, and we're getting a few questions on that subject, how soon should you expect to see results? I mean, if you create TireDirectory.com for tire dealers, when should you start seeing results?
Oh, you can start seeing results relatively quick. I'm talking 20, 30 days, because remember what your keywords are. It's not, for example, let's say your tire directory. Your keywords aren't car tire, which you're competing with every car tire on the planet, manufacturer on the planet or seller. Your keyword is ABC Tire Company in Mableton, Georgia. You've got one person you're competing with, so you start to rank very quickly for some of those local searches. Okay, so and by the way, here's the cool thing about that. You're competing with, you ever heard of the 800-pound gorilla? You're the 800-pound gorilla playing with boys, because what happens is that local car tire place or store has no idea about keyword research, has no idea about backlinking, has no idea about search engine optimization. So that's why you can typically just put the word on your page somewhere, and you can almost outrank the main location, because they don't know what to do. So you can start ranking fairly quickly.
Is that also true for national products? I mean, I know I see on the webinar we have some national names as well. So if you're maybe not looking at a long tail local search, I'm guessing the results take a bit longer, but you still see those results over time, Greg?
Yep, so for national products it'll take a little bit longer, but with national products what I like to do is the PPC side, the pay-per-click side, because I can get in there fairly quickly. Great.
Greg, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it. It was, I think, well worth everybody's time. And everybody, thank you for attending today. I do want to extend that free offer again about Log My Calls as we conclude here. Just go to logmycalls.com. You'll see a Start My Free Trial button on the home page there. And you put in that coupon code I gave you earlier, which is DAMGOOD, D-A-M-G-O-O-D, all caps. Dam, because our beaver's a mascot. Beaver's spelled dams. You get that? You with me? Anyway, it's kind of silly. But, no, we thank you for coming, Greg, and we thank you, everybody, for spending some time with us. Any final thoughts or last words, Greg?
Well, as you can see, a lot of the strategies that we showed you guys today aren't things that, they're going to take you hours and hours and hours to do. It's just a matter of looking at your business and taking action, being creative, creating your unique marketing proposition, and be different. If there's anything you learned today is be different. Don't try to be and follow that herd, because they're all falling off of a cliff right now, and you just got to be different.
That's great. I got some good financial advice the other day. Somebody said normal's not good, normal's broke. So don't be normal, be different. I like that.
Absolutely.
All right, Greg. Hey, thanks for your time today, and thank you, everybody, for spending some time with us. We're going to have a couple webinars next week. We'll get emails to you about those. It should be very good. So in the meantime, stay well, and thanks again.
Thank you.